Hello, everybody, and thanks for coming for another edition of What New Books Do We Have in the Children's Department. First book we have is it's nonfiction, but it's in the form of a board book. How Does It Work? Tractors. So if you love tractors or your little one loves tractors, it tells you a little bit about tractors on each page. Cute illustrations. This one is one of our new Vox books. If you haven't checked those out, we have a whole collection of Vox books that read the story to you. You can skip ahead or backwards. You can adjust the volume. It's rechargeable, so there's no batteries involved, or no batteries you have to take out and replace at least. This one was really cute. Mindful Mr. Sloth, about a very active girl and a not active sloth, obviously. Okay, don't forget that we have first chapter books, so a whole section that are books that are easier than regular chapter books, but harder than easy to read books. And this one is called The Underdogs, and it's about 4 different dogs and their friendship, their adventures. Looks very cute, lots of pictures. Okay, this one, I just have to read you the back of it because I cannot otherwise do it justice. It's called Death and Sparkles. It's a graphic novel about the last unicorn on Earth and death, pairing up and becoming best friends. Being death is no kind of life. Sure, you're all powerful, but collecting souls involves a ton of paperwork, and it's impossible to have friends when everything you touch instantly dies. Being Sparkles, the last unicorn, isn't as fun as you'd imagine either. Sure, it seems like the whole world wants to be your bestie, but really people just want to pose with them for selfies or use you to help them sell stuff. Everything changes when Death and Sparkles meet and realize they might just be one another's first chance at a real friend. But before they can enjoy the bromance, the whole world starts freaking out about this unlikely pair. Will fame and or BFFdom prevail? Life out loud, funny, hilarious, gentle, philosophical, and full of delightful zany exuberance. This buddy comedy turns friendship on its head literally and will have readers believing in the power of cupcakes for breakfast and cosmic camaraderie. That's a hard one to say. Okay, so you have Death and Unicorn as best friends. It looks hilarious and very creative. Hey, here's another graphic novel that I thought was really interesting called Living with Biola. So this girl has anxiety, and it shows up in the form of like this huge dark being of herself, and it's always saying negative thoughts to her and making her anxious and depressed. So, and it starts to take over. So, again, graphic novel, if you have children that are dealing with anxiety, or even ones that don't, I think they would really enjoy that book. It would help them know how other people are dealing. Okay, this one is called Coping with Changes. It's about using different things like meditation, specifically about the pandemic, how to stay calm in trying situations. We have another graphic novel. This one is a nonfiction graphic novel about the history of desserts called Yummy. So you have these 3 girls that take you through the history of different desserts. And I'm sure there are recipes involved as well. So that looked like a fun read if you have a giant sweet tooth. Okay, don't forget that we have all these books with pink on the spine. We have a whole section that's called the parenting section, which is about things like how to potty train your child, how to most effectively use discipline with your child, things like that. So this one is called Why is My Child in Charge? A roadmap to end power struggles, increase cooperation, and find joy in parenting young children. So if you are feeling frazzled as a parent, which is a very common feeling, and feel like you could use some help, check out our parenting section and maybe you'll come up with some good solutions or help. This one is called History Raiders Lost Kings and Kingdoms. It's kind of an interesting format. This is a new series. This one is about kings and kingdoms, but it's got this girl, history raider, called Madison Maverick. And on each page, she's helping, or she's asking you to help her solve a mystery about these things that maybe existed, maybe didn't. So King Arthur was that one. Cahokia Mounds is in here, things like that. So kind of an interesting format if your child likes history. Okay, this is another one about COVID-19, making communities resilient to pandemics. So if your children have questions about the pandemic, this might be helpful to explain things to them in a child-friendly way, and might give them reassurance that we are working on being more efficient the next pandemic that comes along. Okay, this one was interesting. My House in 2055. It has ideas about what your house might look like in the not too distant future. Robots figure prominently. Uh, obviously, cooking your food, helping you down the stairs. So just different growing your own food. So different ideas about what households might look like in 30 years, which is not that far away. Not sure we will all have robots by then, but we'll see. This was a beautifully done book by a Caldecott Honor author, Brian Collier, and it is We Shall Overcome. It has the lyrics from the song, and it has both black and white pictures from the past and colorful illustrations of the present. So it ties the two together. So this would go well with studying about Black Lives Matter, racial segregation, any of that. So tying children together with the past. Beautifully illustrated. Okay, don't forget, we also have children's books in many different languages, especially Chinese and Spanish. This one is in Spanish, a book about space, so entirely in Spanish. We have fiction and nonfiction, board books, everything in different languages. Korean, Japanese, German, all different languages. This one was interesting too. This is called Segregated Skies. It is a biography put out by National Geographic about the first black commercial airline pilot and the challenges that he faced. Okay, a lot of you might already know the DK Eyewitness books. This is the new look for the books, and we just got several of them in. So if you are a fan, they always have amazing illustrations, good little chunks of text about different things. This one is about the Titanic, but they are always good to read. We have one on oceans, hurricanes, ancient Egypt, and the Titanic on this card. Okay, this one is called the Goldilocks Zone, and this is real facts about outer space. So this girl and her dog are checking out our solar system for other planets that might work, or just to learn about other planets. So I think the Goldilocks Zone is referring to you're looking for a planet that's just right. So not too hot, not too cold, and has everything else. But very cute cartoony illustrations, but with tons of facts about different planets. So that looked like a fun read if your kid likes outer space. Okay, last but not least is a picture book. I thought this was really beautifully done. I Want a Boat, and it takes you one step at a time. She starts with a box. She decides that it's a boat and then says all the other things she needs. And then once she's done with that, she goes all the way back down again to get back to her own house with her own stuffed animals. But you'll see it's got really beautiful illustrations, very minimal words, but talks a lot about her imagination. So I thought that was really a fun book to read. So look down below in the description and you'll see a record set of all these books. You can just click on any of them to put on a hold and either pick them up here at the library or through contactless curbside pickup. Our nonfiction new shelves are full. Our picture books, we have tons, so we hope you will come in and get some of these books. We would be very happy. We'll see you next time. Thank you.